Okay, we're going to start off with a quick trivia quiz to see, to get you guys thinking and see what you know about nutrition. You might learn something fun. The first question is, how long can the average human survive without consuming any food?
Does that include water?
No, just food. They can have water. This is just how long can they go without consuming any food?
C.
1 month. I say C.
C, 1 month? Yes, the correct answer is about 1 month. Although the average human can go about 30 days without having any food, they can only go about 3 days without water. But the next question is, we can receive our daily dose of this nutrient merely by sitting in the sun for 15 minutes a day. Is it vitamin D, calcium, carbohydrates, or vitamin K?
Vitamin
A, vitamin D. Just being exposed to the sun for 15 minutes can actually give you all of your vitamin D needs for the day in Florida. Now some of the northern states might not get quite as much, but here in Florida, having 1/3 of your body exposed to the sun for 15 minutes helps you synthesize the amount of vitamin D that you need. Did you have a question?
That was my question. I was going to ask if we had any naked.
No, having 1/3 of your body exposed to the sun. Third question, how much sugar does a 20-ounce bottle of Pepsi contain?
1/3. 1/3 cup.
1/3 of a cup? Okay, and that is correct. It is 1/3 of a cup of sugar, which is a lot of sugar if you think about just in a 20-ounce bottle of Pepsi. 1/3 of a cup of sugar is more than the amount of sugar in 5 glazed donuts. So if you think about that, 5 glazed donuts, if you're drinking, if you drink a 20-ounce soda, you're drinking that just in one beverage. And then some people drink soda all day long, so you can see how fast that sugar content can add up. What % of the human body is composed of water, or is water?
70.
70? 70% of the human body is water. Water is found in every cell of the body, and especially found in the brain. And then the last question is true or false? Studies show that warm colors like red, orange, and yellow can actually increase your appetite.
False.
Okay? That is actually true. And that's why certain fast food restaurants will use those colors to increase people's appetites to get them to eat more food.
Do they know why? That, like, is there an explanation? Or?
Not that I know of. That is a good question. No, but there are certain things that they've had studies to show that they have an effect. For instance, music is another thing that has an effect. If you play soft, slow music in the background, people tend to eat more slowly. If you play faster, more, I guess, harsh music, like metal music or rap music, people tend to eat faster. So just one of those things that people, that you can make the relationship that it does happen, but don't necessarily know why. Okay, so to begin our discussion about nutrition, we use the term nutrients for substances and foods that our body can use. The nutrients that are needed in the largest amounts are called macronutrients. Macro because they're needed in large amounts. And those nutrients include water, carbohydrates, fats or lipids, and proteins. So these are all the things that people need to consume in a large amount in order to sustain life. Water. We already learned that water is estimated to make up about 70% of the body. Water is very important to the body. It is a major component in blood, so without sufficient water, blood could not carry nutrients or oxygen to the organs or tissues of your body. It also helps to regulate your body temperature. It's very important to maintain your body temperature where it is so that cells can maintain their function. Also helps to remove waste products from the body, for instance urine. A large component of urine is water. and it's involved in cellular activities and reactions. So almost any reaction that goes on in your body is going to involve water. But water is lost every day through sweating, through urine and bowels, and even through breathing. You're breathing out moist air, so you're losing water essentially from your body. And people that are athletes tend to sweat more and even breathe heavier, and therefore would be losing more water, so they would require larger amounts of water. The average human loses about 3 liters of water a day, and this is just the average human, so not taking into account people like athletes, or people that might live in the desert area where they sweat more often or are exposed to more heat conditions. But the average person loses 3 liters of water a day, so those 3 liters need to be replaced. The good news is about half of that is replaced just by eating foods. So fruits, vegetables, or just the foods that you consume have water content, and that counts for some of the lost water to make up for that 3 liters. The rest of it we have to drink in beverages, the best choice being water. So aside from water, our bodies need energy to function, and that energy comes from the food that we eat as well. Energy comes in the form of carbohydrates. Carbohydrates are the major source of energy for our cells, and they mostly come from plant sources, so like fruit or veggies, meats. They are known to give us quick energy because they are very easily digested and quickly absorbed into the bloodstream, so they give you a quick energy. It's a very usable form of energy. That's why a lot of athletes will carbohydrate load before an extensive event, an athletic event or competition. They'll eat a lot of carbohydrates so that they can up their supply of readily available energy. There are 3 types of carbohydrates. We have starches, sugars, starches, and fiber. Sugars are things like glucose, fructose, and galactose, which are all monosaccharides, meaning that mono is in there one single sugar unit. Sucrose, or common table sugar, is actually a disaccharide, di meaning it contains 2 molecules of glucose combined together, and that's what makes table sugar. Most sugars are found in things like honey, milk, fruit. A lot of processed foods contain sugar, and that's what gives foods its sweet taste. Obviously, something that's tastes sweet, we can assume has sugar content. Now, if you take those small units of sugar and combine them together into large chains, much longer chains, you can get starches, or also called complex carbohydrates. And complex carbohydrates are found in the starchier vegetables like potatoes and corn, and wheat, rice, those sorts of things. They don't have a sweet taste like the sugars do, but they are important fuel for the body as well. They don't, being longer chains, they take a little bit longer to digest, but they're still a readily available source of energy for the body. So if you were to eat something that had both sugar and starch in it, the sugar would absorb quickly and you'd have energy right away. The starch, the longer chain starch, the complex carbohydrates would break down a little bit more slowly, so your energy would be a little bit more sustained throughout the day. If the body takes in more carbohydrates than it needs for energy, then that extra carbohydrates can be stored in fat cells for later use. Hence why people tend to gain weight if they eat more sugar or more foods than they need. So we have our sugars and our complex carbohydrates, but there's also fiber, and fiber is mostly cell walls of plants. So like the kind of the skeleton of plants, the outer shell of them, is mostly made up of
Cellulose.
thank you, I know those. And cellulose is not digestible by humans, so it kind of just passes through the digestive tract. and kind of take other things out with it. It's called roughage, and fiber